computer. What's up, everyone? Here we are, episode 7 of the B+Ball boys. Let's get into it. How's everyone doing? How are we doing, boys?
We were just talking. What a great week for basketball.
That
was a weird pause.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a great week with basketball, man. So
it seems like everybody is trying to one up each other from the previous day with a big performance after a big performance. That's
absolutely true. Absolutely true. We want to start off with players pushing P, doing some good things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd like to give LeBron some love. Second 50-point game in like a week or something. Like, they were down by as much as 9 to the Wizards. Sorry, Eric. At around half, they were down almost 10, or maybe even more than 10. But LeBron went nuclear, 18 for 25, 6 for 9 from 3. And the plus minus, I know this is a bunch of people on the team had plus minuses like 20, but he had plus minus 22. It's pretty sweet. Was that at home? I forget.
It was in Staples. Yeah.
Was there a Rams Super Bowl player there?
I don't know. Maybe Cooper Kupp was there. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he was. I'm not sure.
It's possible.
It would be one explanation.
We had, it was a very low point earlier in the week with the Rockets loss, and then maybe a little hopium.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes. But who impressed you this week, guys?
I would like to also shout out a player from the team I support, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Absolutely.
He is well known for having had foul issues in the past and to some degree this year. He's a foul prone player, but when he's on the court, he impacts the defense in such a way that he's in, to me, the defensive player of the year, like top 3 or top 5. And he picked up 4 fouls in Friday's game against the Knicks. The Grizzlies went down by double digits, I think as much as 15. And in the fourth quarter, they put him back in with 4 fouls, and he was able to close out the game without fouling out. He ended with 5 blocks and stayed at 5 fouls despite playing, I believe, that entire fourth quarter. And the Grizzlies were able to close the fourth. I think the score in the fourth quarter was 31-18, and pull out a close comeback win against the Knicks, who had won 3 straight, by the way, and are not scrubs.
Right.
And Julius Randle is difficult to guard when he's playing bully ball, especially if you're a shot blocker and he gets in your chest. So I think it's just important to see that, you can trust Jaren late in the game with foul trouble. And I also think that this is a win for my agenda, which is don't foul out your own players, meaning don't sub them out with 4 or 5, let them play. And because the thing is, if you sub them out with 4 or 5 fouls and they don't finish the game, you didn't get the most out of them that you could. Mm-hmm. So I am a fan of the strategy the Grizzlies employed there, and I'm a fan of Jaren for avoiding those last couple of fouls and ending up winning the game.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Give my guy Josh Hart some love, man.
Oh my God.
Holy wow, dude. That was they just played the Wizards on a back-to-back, I think, but still, none of us think of Josh Hart as this elite scorer, but he got 44 points off 21 shots, which is nuts. 6 for 9 from 3. And he had 8 rebounds and 6 assists, and he was plus 22. That's nuts, man.
That's an impressive.
And it's just like a theme with Portland, though. They can find guards anywhere, but they just cannot figure out the big situation. They haven't had a dominant big. I don't know. Bill Walton, maybe.
I feel like they can't get any wings either. Nurk is fine. He's not playing right now, but they definitely can't get wings in this era this Lillard McCollum era, like who was on the wing? Covington, Aminu, it was like not the best wings that they had.
Front court, just their front court is just like maybe Chet is the solution.
Maybe they should have two top 15 picks. So we'll see what they can do with that.
That'd be cool. Maybe that guy Paolo he's pretty big. He's like 6'10".
He's 6'10". That would be, I mean, if they end up in a position to draft him, that would be probably a great pick. Especially if they're gonna keep running with this Dame thing. I think they need size around him.
Definitely.
Now, I personally believe they'll trade Dame. However, I know not everybody believes that. So,
also want to give a shout out to not a player, but to Coach Popovich for being the GOAT, man.
Yep.
I mean,
he leads. What was the record now? He has it.
1336.
Wow.
Yeah.
1336
wins than like 6 or 7 franchises.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat that I might have mentioned this before, but new Pelicans coach Willie Green could go on 15 straight 82-0 seasons and not have as many wins as Pop. That's how crazy that number is.
But shout out to you.
He's definitely the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT.
Mhm.
Damn, that's crazy. Do we want to move to your first topic, Marco?
Do we?
Yes, I would love to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Aye.
I got on here before and said, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be, after their hot start, I said, this is for real. They're a good team. And, I was proven right. I'm going to pat myself on the back. But I think the injuries are kind of hitting them at such a high rate and also just the wrong time. And I think that I'm a little concerned about them falling out of the playoffs. So currently they're in 6th in the East. Toronto is only 1 game back of them. Cleveland, their remaining strength of schedule is, I believe it is, I'll check that in a second. But I think they don't have the easiest schedule going down the stretch. They're missing Jared Allen. Garland is dealing with some back issues. Obviously, they're missing Sexton. They lost Rubio, and then they traded Rubio because he was lost for the season. Levert hasn't played in a couple of weeks, but he should be back soon. However, I mean, the main loss is Jared Allen. And I don't know, are you guys concerned that they will drop into the play-in and then maybe lose in the play-in? Because keep in mind, if they drop into the play-in, you'd most likely be playing Brooklyn. And then
that's what you meant. Okay, I follow you now. Okay.
With the way that Brooklyn is playing, I'm not sure that Cleveland would beat them in a high-pressure game. And, then you kind of have I would think that they're favored in the second play-in game against either what it looks like it would be either Charlotte or Atlanta right now. But if the injury bug keeps hitting them, they could lose 2 play-in games and fall out of the playoffs. So I'm thinking, what do you guys think? Do you think there's a real risk for the Cavs' very successful season to come crashing down here?
Well, just to answer your question, their strength of schedule is they're right in the middle. So it's it's that kind of works to their advantage. It's not it's not easy, but it could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought it was a little harder than that.
I see 0.49, which is 19th.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I definitely thought it was like a 10th or higher remaining strength of schedule left. I might not be looking at something right, but Toronto it's really about whether Toronto can outplay them. So do we know what Toronto's remaining strength of schedule is?
Toronto is easier. They have this is backwards. They are 11th easiest.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, they basically have the almost exact same difficulty in terms of SOS. But yeah, I mean, I definitely the way you've laid that out, if they're losing at Brooklyn, I do think they'll lose to Brooklyn. And then wow, so they're probably looking at I don't know, 60% chance to have like an 8 seed. And then, wow, we really thought they were going to like at least easily sort of cruise the second round, like just 3 months ago. And now they're probably getting swept in 4.
They looked scary.
Yeah.
You know, they look scary. And now I don't even know if Jared Allen is scheduled to come back this season. I'm not sure. And Levert and Garland, I mean, like, Garland is, like I said, dealing with some back issue. He's been in and out of the lineup a little bit. Levert, you know, he sprained his foot and he's just coming back from that. Who knows if he's going to be 100%. I mean, I wouldn't consider that like the most serious of injuries, but it might hamper him. As somebody who's enjoyed watching the Cavs this season, I just kind of feel like they might not have the offense to get through this stretch, even if it's easier. You know, we know that their defense is good, but so many of their points are created by Garland getting points for Allen. You know, Allen's hard rolls and stuff, I think, is a little underrated how much Allen contributes to their offense, and their shot creation is just not there. You know, your backup point guards are Brandon Goodwin and Rajon Rondo, who are, you know, no disrespect to them, but maybe not the best backup point guards you can have. Kevin Love, I think, is being forced to start now, kind of taking him out of that optimal six-man role.
Right.
All I'm saying is I'm concerned, guys. Like I want the Cavs to succeed, and I'm fearing that there may be a play and loss for them. So let me ask you guys another question. If the Cavs fall into the play-in and Toronto is in the playoffs, is Scotty Barnes your rookie of the year?
Ooh.
And if I'm trying to debate that topic, I would say, I mean, Cade Cunningham has come on strong as of late.
He has too. They're having a fantastic month.
Evan Mobley's been solid as well. But okay, so your question is, what's the conditional if Toronto does what?
If Toronto makes the playoffs straight up, 6 seed, and Cleveland falls to 7 or lower, would you have Scotty Barnes as your rookie of the year over Mobley in that case?
I'll say if the currently Toronto, OG Anunoby is out. He's going to miss it. It says here he's going to miss at least 2 weeks with a finger injury. And then Fred VanVleet is dealing with a knee injury.
Yeah, he's been in and out.
So if Scotty Barnes carries them, quote unquote, carries them to that 6 seed, I would say yes.
I think the thing about both of these rookie of the year candidates is that the team around them is pretty solid. I know that both teams are actually dealing with a lot of injury, you know, but it's still a good team around them. Like Siakam is an all-star level player. Garland and Allen are obviously all-stars. Fred VanVleet was an all-star. You know, there are other good players around them. And if you're looking at like by typical rookie of the year analysis, you would go with Cade because he just has the best numbers and he's the number one option. But it just seems that people aren't really leaning that way this year, even if I think Cade deserves a look. I'm thinking that if people have decided that wins are important in the rookie of the year race, well, if Toronto ends up with more, I kind of feel like he's going to get some consideration. And he's been really good all year.
Yeah, I think the knock against Cade is the slow start. Coming in late with I think he had like an ankle injury or something, and then he definitely had a slow start. So yeah, to back up your point, Marco, I think if you're looking at wins, definitely Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, I think you're probably on something. Are you throwing some? Are you backing that?
I'm worried about my Mobley futures.
Okay.
I have the Mobley rookie of the year futures. I have the long shot Cavs to make the playoffs futures. So wow. This is like it is relevant to me.
I think the Cavs will be okay.
You think the Cavs will? You know what? I think that they would not lose that second play-in game. If it came to that, I think they would probably lose to Brooklyn. Like I can't really like Brooklyn would, let's just put it this way, Brooklyn would be favored in that game. Cleveland has won a lot of big games this season, but Brooklyn would be favored. You know, and In that second game, though, I think they've been way better than Atlanta, and especially Charlotte, who I don't really believe in. But anything can happen in one game.
If they don't have Jared Allen, like, okay, so looking at like their team stats, the overall picture with Cleveland is they're not going to kill you with a ton of points, but they're not going to let you score a lot of points either. If Jared Allen is not playing and Brooklyn has Katie and Kyrie doing what they've been doing as of late, it's going to be a problem. And with Charlotte, their defense is awful, but they'll dump points on you.
They will.
So,
They will score. I would add also that this play-in game, if it's still relevant at this point, would most likely be in Cleveland, where Kyrie would definitely be eligible to play, and also would definitely want to crush the hearts of Cavs fans, because I think that he has a little beef with them. Or at least the last video that we saw.
For whatever reason.
He's like, it's an angry Boston's like my angry ex-girlfriend.
But I've seen video of him. The last time they played in Cleveland, he was jawing with the Cleveland fans, calling them like ungrateful.
Yeah,
for because he won them a title and stuff. I'm sure that he would want to show out.
Yeah, I'm sure that's Cavs fans are so ungrateful. No, it's just sports, man. You're on the opposing team. Boo.
Can we go on a quick side tangent here?
Sure.
Of course.
How do you feel about the Russell Westbrick thing?
Oh man. Well, you know what? I'm going to give Will the floor, because I just want to say as an anti-Lakers fan, I'm so happy. I want to give LeBron his flowers. He's great, but like I'm so happy. Like this has been a great season for me. But Will, I'm gonna let you take it.
No, I think you're right. I think sort of what Steph was saying and what Westbrook was saying, in the sense that like, don't involve or like jaw at like my children or my wife when they're at the games, is definitely fair. Like that shouldn't like be the case. Like I know Westbrook has like, it was a couple of years ago that like fan like tried to step up to him sort of, and like Westbrook he pushed him, but he just like kept him at a distance, and like then that guy got like a lifetime ban. So he's had like a history with this. So I guess he's probably a little bit more tender about it. But like, you get paid $45 million to do a job, and if you're not good at your job, like I think that's what the money's for, is to be criticized and be okay like going out there to be criticized. It's like, it's crazy to me, like his shortcomings probably from now until he retires, like no one is like debating that he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Like everyone's like, yeah, like he's done enough, like the 3 triple-double seasons, like X, Y, and Z. But like, you're not like, past performance does not preclude you from current criticism. And like,
what have you done for me lately?
Right. Yeah. Right. So, it's not like, he does put a lot of bricks, and it is right there, and it's unfortunate. I bet it'd be handy if his last name was something different, and where that was a little harder to clown. But at a certain point, I think he needs to, like, if he had like a better attitude about adjusting his role, I think maybe the criticism is more fair. But he just has this delusional outlook on things, I think. Anything else you want to add, Marco? Or you? But I think
I equate the name, the literal name Westbrick, to like, for example, my last name is Siegel, and when I was in elementary school, Siegel, it's fun, like, I think taking it to the level of like, you're disrespecting my family. Okay, yeah, it's not respecting your family's name, but I don't know, disrespecting. I think Will's a great point. It's like, you don't get paid that much money to have a pretty face and just sit there and like, it's kind of part of the job. They call it, I've heard people say LeBrick,
right?
LeBron, right?
Yeah.
Or Le Mickey, as Shannon Sharp wanted to point out.
But it's like,
Le GM, all that stuff.
That's the difference though between a guy like LeBron will have You don't hear LeBron addressing that criticism because I just think Russell Westbrook's, it's such a close to home situation. Literally, you're in your hometown. The expectations are sky high, and this season probably couldn't have gotten any worse. And the things that he's been saying have not been helping him at all. That came to LA with no expectations. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
what?
First of all, if
Yeah.
you're in the NBA with no expectations, then kind of what are you doing? Like,
If you're in LA though, playing with LeBron
yeah.
and Anthony Davis, how are there no
It's not like you're playing on
it's
the
not true.
post-Kobe Lakers with
Yeah,
yeah. So
Jordan Hill. You're not playing on the Jordan Hill Lakers.
yeah,
You know, I guess I am generally of the opinion that fans should be, and I think players actually do like just like, oh, boo, you suck type comments. I think those should be allowed. And to me, Westbrick falls under boo, you suck.
yes,
Yeah, rather now I get it. It's like gotten to be a lot. I think the media bullies Westbrook a little bit.
Oh,
They
yeah.
blame him like even when it's not his fault that they lose. You know,
Mhm.
I don't think that his family should be involved at all. You
Mhm.
know, and I know there was Lakers fans having the largest fan base probably in basketball, have some crazy people in the fan base. And
Mhm.
that's not to call all Lakers fans crazy, but you know, that's the kind of person that would go after a family member.
Mhm.
Or remember that Danny Green was sent death threats after
Yeah.
missing that shot. Things like that, obviously unacceptable, right?
Mhm.
But part of the reason everybody missed fans when we couldn't watch them was because they get to yell "Boo, you suck," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Westbrick is a "Boo, you suck" comment. It is about what you did on the court, right?
Mhm.
And not about nobody's calling. Russell Westbrook seems like he's probably a really good person, as far
Yeah.
as I can tell, or like a really good man. You know,
Mhm.
this as I've said this before. Sports hate is not real hate as long
Right.
as you can keep it like to this
Right.
event. I say that I hate Chris Paul. Chris Paul seems like a great guy. I just
Mhm.
can't I just can't I just root against him, you know, because I just don't like what he does on the court. You
Right.
know, I think it is like a whole separate topic, right?
Mhm.
So I don't if I went and heckled Chris Paul, like I don't even think that he would be I haven't done this, but I don't even think that he would like consider this bad. He would probably use it as motivation to try to beat my team.
Right.
And that's kind of why I think that like athletes like it, you know? But I think it's not even the fans, aside from the ones that took it too far. It's really like the media and everybody constantly blaming Westbrook when it's not always really his fault, you know, or a lot of the times it's not his fault. And I guess to wrap it up, I would say like once you tell people to stop making fun of you, they're gonna do it more. And I am not
Drawing attention
encouraging.
to it.
I don't think if you looked at this and said I need to say Westbrick more, I am like a little skeptical of that attitude, you know. But people are going to say it more, and
Mhm.
the reality is like we've all been grade school kids. If you tell someone to stop bullying you, they will bully you more, right?
Mhm.
And that's what's going to happen. People are just going to use it more. And they spent like a week discussing the validity of the nickname. It's like absolutely what you didn't want to happen. But I guess it was a moment of frustration for him where he let that out, and now the cat's out of the bag. He's going to be called that in every opposing stadium, even maybe in the crypto center.
I feel very bad. I honestly feel really bad for him.
Yeah, I
You
know.
can
I
tell
feel
that it's really bothering him, and like he's a human being, and like
and like I don't want to relate this, but like I feel like I last time I played a rec league game, I missed a couple shots early and then only ended up making one the entire night. I feel like that's every night for him. You know, it's
Russell
like
Westbrook. If you're listening, just know that there are other people just like you gone through the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, you get in your own head a little bit, and now it's just he can't get out of it. You know, and I understand, but hey, like I would encourage people to have some humanity and not bring up his family. And just a reminder, Magic Johnson is a Lakers legend who was called Tragic Johnson by LA media.
Mhm.
Like this is what happens in sports. And it was because he like was choking in the finals. So these things happen. But you know, maybe let's lay off of him a little bit.
You're gonna be okay, Russ. You'll be all
Yeah.
right. Probably in Detroit or somewhere else. I don't know.
Probably in Detroit or something.
Would we like to come back to the Eastern Conference for a moment?
Hey, let's
Yeah.
go back east.
Let's do it.
I got a couple. You know what? I initially wanted to ask about the Boston Celtics and their chances in the Eastern Conference, but I think that this second question that I have is going to tie that in.
Mhm.
We have 6 Eastern Conference teams here.
Mhm.
Miami, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Chicago, Boston, and Brooklyn. All are considered to be really good. 2 of those, by logic, have to go out in the first round.
It's just
2
crazy.
of those can't make it past the first round. So my question would be, who do you think is most likely to not make it past the first round out of that group?
Okay,
Who do you
we'll
think is most likely to make it the furthest out of that group too? But we'll get there.
make it the furthest? I mean, okay.
Oh wait, Marcos was who will be eliminated out of the first 6?
Out of those 6 that I named, which are all the current playoff teams
Mhm.
except
Top
for
5. The top 5. Wait, no.
the top 5 plus
and the
Brooklyn.
Nets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2
Okay.
of them have to be only 4 teams make it past the first round in each conference. So by logic, 2 of those 6 have to be eliminated. So who do we think they're going to be?
Well, I think I mean, okay. Well, if we're assuming that the Nets are going to win the first game, like the 1 seed is supremely valuable, since then the Heat will just have to play the winner of Hornets Hawks.
Oh,
So I think the Heat will advance.
yeah, easy.
Oh yeah.
But if I'm the Milwaukee, I'm like, really have to go through a brawl again in the first round, even a
Mhm.
round earlier than last year, most likely. But I mean, I kind of think the Bucks get to have all their guys all the games, I think they're gonna prevail. They'll make the second round.
They're gonna get rid of the mandate by the playoffs.
You think so? I mean,
You got a
it's
lot
kind
of
of
people
trending that
chirping.
way.
You got a lot of people chirping about it. They'll get rid of it.
Okay. I believe you. I haven't exactly kept up with it. I know like the Knicks game today was like really weird, where Kyrie was like allowed to be there but couldn't play.
Mhm.
And like I'm just gonna be clear, like I thought, you know, the mandate encouraged vaccination and everything. However, this like half repeal of it is very strange. Like I would rather us do it, but if we're not gonna do it, then I get the complaints at least. But I think that we should be having a mandate, you know. However, if they're not gonna do it, I mean, like nothing to say about your comment there. So your pick is one of the 2 of Nets and Bucks.
No,
Because they're
sorry. I think the Heat are most likely to advance.
okay.
And then, well, sorry, is the question which 2 are going home of those 6, or which is making the Eastern Conference Finals?
Which 2 are going home? So you've picked
Okay.
like the loser of Nets Bucks, basically. What you think is the Nets?
I think I think the Nets are going home, and I think the Bulls are going home.
What? In the first round?
I agree with that actually.
Wait, do you think the Nets are going to go home in the first round?
Yes.
If they play the Bucks, I think they'll go home.
This is so hard, man.
Okay, let's start with the Bulls. Do any of us disagree with the Bulls? Are the Bulls in our 2 going home for all of us?
I think so.
I don't know. Is Alex Caruso coming back?
He is back. I think he is playing tonight or last night, or he's playing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe
I think
they'll
if
even
the
get
Bulls are
Lonzo Ball.
healthy. Oh, God.
Eric, let me convince you here.
Okay.
The issue is not with Lonzo, Caruso, Levine, or DeMar DeRozan. as much as I want to support my Serbian brother, Nikola Vucevic, he is a weakness in a playoff series. He will get attacked, and he is maybe like an average defender, right? But that's a weak point for them, is that these guys basically playing 4 perimeter guys. DeMar DeRozan is their power forward. They are not playing very much size, and you're gonna basically get players running at Vucevic. And I think that right now they would play the Celtics, who have the best defense in the league, at least for the second half of the season, which I think would continue because they made some adjustments and it became the best defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics have enough guys who can score, and like I said, the best defense in the league, where I think that I would take the Celtics over the Bulls in a series at this moment. And that is with Caruso and Lonzo back.
Here's my counter.
Okay.
If you have a healthy Bulls team, I'm giving Billy Donovan some credit. And I think, to your point, I think, if, no offense to you, this is going to sound like it's mean, but it's not. If you can have foresight into that game plan, if you're the Celtics on attack Vucevic, I think Billy Donovan can too.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give him some credit. And I think, we don't know, playoff basketball is kind of a different beast. You got a first-time head coach. So
okay.
No, it's not the biggest part of the equation, but we've seen collapses due to, coaching. So, and Billy Donovan has a lot of experience. But I hear what you're saying. It's just it's tough.
Ime is the coach for the
Ime Udoka, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is his first year as a head coach, but keep in mind he was a Spurs assistant forever.
Okay. So yeah.
Well, it's an assistant. Look, I can't call him like a master tactician or anything without seeing it,
No, but he's gone to the playoffs sometimes, I imagine then.
Yeah, he's gone to the playoffs, and he's created these adjustments that have led to the Celtics being the number 1 defense in the league. Mm-hmm. So I think that he has the ability to adjust. Obviously, we'll see how he does in a playoff series. I'm sure he's no Ty Lue, who I think is like the best tactician in the league, but we don't know that he also can't adjust. And I just think that the way that they're playing right now, I would take the Celtics over the Bulls.
Yeah.
And if the Bulls played Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Miami, or Brooklyn, I would take any team over the Bulls out of that group.
Yeah,
I would take any team over the Bulls. And even if they play Cleveland or Toronto, they're not scrubs, and they create matchup problems. Like the Bulls are playing 4 smalls, more or less, and the Cavs, when healthy, are playing 3 bigs. So, it's gonna be very imbalanced. Yeah, it's good. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just gonna be a weird series to like watch.
I feel like you would get a 7-game series where every game is a blowout, because one team imposed their will either way. You know what I mean? Either you got dominated on the boards or you got dominated on the perimeter. And that would result in one team winning. And Toronto, they just switch everything. So like you're not going to create advantages against them, except for maybe Vucevic is an asset there because he'd be the biggest player on the floor.
I'm just so happy that the East is alive and thriving.
Yeah,
we might be getting some of the greatest 1-8, 2-7 series of all time.
No, we definitely will. So do we all believe that the Nets are still on first round exit watch then?
I think if if I'm the Nets, I probably would want to play Miami over Milwaukee.
Oh yeah. So
if Milwaukee wins that series, if Milwaukee beats Brooklyn in the first round, clear path for Milwaukee to get to the finals. Not even a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. So if Brooklyn beats Miami in the first round, is what you're saying?
Yeah. If I'm Brooklyn, I'd want to play Miami over Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So that would be most likely the 1-8 matchup. So you're saying that then the second round would probably be, at the moment, it would be Philly, Milwaukee, or Yeah, probably Philly. Let's just say it's Philly, Milwaukee,
Mhm.
which I think would be really exciting.
Yep.
However, the second round is kind of where, I don't like to pick at players like their playoff chokers or whatever.
Mhm.
But James Harden definitely has a questionable history in the playoffs. you
Yeah.
know? And the
That's
second
such a
round
nice way of saying that. You never hear anyone say it like that.
Mhm.
I wish that like if
Questionable
people,
history in the playoffs.
the world would be such a nicer place if people talk like that. Like
I look, because I don't like to just go around being like he's a playoff choker or anything like that,
Mhm.
because a lot of the time these things have context missing, right?
Mhm.
But you can genuinely go like, hey, remember that this is Zach Lowe pointed this out on his podcast. I'll give him credit. You can genuinely go, remember when James Harden had that 2 for 11 game in the playoffs in a big game? And
There's like 3.
yeah, whoever you're talking to would say which one, because there are 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy that he's had such low lights, right? Game 7 versus the Warriors, although I think he should have gotten some 3-shot fouls in that game. The game where he got blocked by Manu, some of his games against the Clippers, I believe like his team made a huge comeback when he was on the bench in one of those games against the Clippers. It looked like he had just kind of lost it, and they the bench brought it back. There is reason to question his performance in the second round more than most players, I think, that get this criticism. And I think also the second round is kind of where these issues of, well, we don't know each other that well will creep in, because every little thing is going to be exploited by the Bucks, most likely, who are a very cohesive unit who've mostly played together. In the playoffs, every little issue that you have is exploited, and the fact that this Embiid Harden pairing is not had enough time, I think, to mesh by that point for big games, and 2, the team around them is not perfectly built for that pairing because of just the nature of the mid-season trade. So I think that's kind of when those issues would present themselves, and I think Milwaukee maybe gets past them in 6. I have Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. I believe in them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would think so too.
Hey Will, I'm sorry, this is not basketball related, but
Okay.
did you see the news?
No.
Breaking news?
Lakers news?
No. Just go on Twitter right now.
Mid-episode Twitter check.
Pause.
What do we have here?
No way, bro.
What happened?
Is it Tom Brady?
He's out of retirement?
No! We're back. We're back.
Didn't even last 2 months.
Are you serious?
Let's go. Eyes on 8. Eyes on 8.
Wow.
What the heck?
Had to take a quick.
I thought we were finally done with this guy.
I know, seriously. I thought we were moving on.
Is he coming back as a Buck?
Yeah, well, it says so.
Okay.
These past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field, not in the stands. That time will come, but it's not now. I love my teammates and I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa. Unfinished business, LFG. Let's go.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Eric, bro.
Okay. I will give it to him. Look, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I'm not even the biggest football fan, but it increases my interest in the sport of football for him to be playing, because he is my villain. You know what I mean? He's my Miami LeBron when I was getting back into basketball when I was younger. He's my Chris Paul as a Clipper. He increases my interest in the NFL because I want to see him lose. So
I'm glad he's back. He's a good villain. He's like the Warriors.
I got nothing but respect for the Warriors. Were a bad villain to me because they were too good, I think.
Okay.
The KD Warriors. The before that, the 73-9, or the 73-9 team, the 2015 team, people generally liked them at the time, but then I saw them in the playoffs and they became a villain for me. anyway, it increases my interest in football for him to be playing for sure. And I will give it to, I'm not a hater, right? He's just a villain. I'll give credit to him. He's going to be one of the best QBs in the league again. He's going to be near MVP level again. You know, he was retiring with plenty of capability still in the tank.
I think he's still top 5. I think he's still, Oh my God, this is great. Thank you guys. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, okay. So let me ask you now, Will brought this up earlier. We have Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's our most likely Eastern Conference Finals team. Is that what I'm gathering?
Yeah.
Now, Will was wondering earlier how the Celtics' chances look to get there.
So the Celtics would have to. It's not a cakewalk, but they could play.
We've established. I think they would beat Chicago. So second round, they're going up against the Heat.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Nets if things break that way.
I think I think the vaccine mandate in New York will change. I don't think it's going to change in Canada. So if Brooklyn plays Toronto in Canada, you're talking about playing without Kyrie, but you might also be talking about playing, I don't know if Fred VanVleet's injury is all that serious, but that's a team that probably can't afford to be without. If you're without OG, Anunoby, and Fred VanVleet, I'm probably taking Brooklyn with just KD.
Okay, what about and Ben Simmons? We don't even know what Ben Simmons will.
No, not can't even factor it in at this point.
I saw that he's not even at the one-on-one stage right now, which if that I believe the back injury is real. Okay, I believe he got a back injury as a result of not having played in a while and then quickly trying to ramp up the game shape, hold his back. I believe that. I believe all of that, right? However, it sounds like if he's not even playing one-on-one, he's a month away.
Yeah.
At least. So who knows if he'll get back in time. A month is when the play-in starts almost exactly from today on March 13th. It starts in mid-April. So would he have even played a game with them? Who knows?
Is he getting paid?
I believe he's getting paid, yeah.
What a life.
Sorry. ESPN.
Will's just taking in the news here. Well,
sorry,
okay.
All right, I'm back. Okay, here we are.
All right, but you were I think you were pitching the Celtics on us for the conference final. So you think they could get past the Heat or the Nets if they see them in the second round?
Yeah, on the one hand, we've seen this from Tatum before, right? He goes super hot after the All-Star break. What was his stats? He's averaging close to 30. He's scored 30 in 9 of his last 15. The guy, he definitely outplayed KD recently when they played the Nets. He's a dude. You need one of these top 8 guys, I think, really to feel the team needs one of them to feel they actually have a chance at a run at a championship. And he's definitely not Giannis. He's definitely not KD, but if some things break their way, he's close enough, I think. I think he is elevating. He could become I don't know, a top 10 guy if he really proves himself in this playoffs. And he's close. He's close.
I think a lot of people would argue that he is. I think my consideration to add here is Tatum plays like an all defense guy.
Yeah.
Now it's easy. It's easy. The Celtics have an amazing defense. It probably makes a lot of their defenders look all defense level. However, I feel like Tatum plays like an all defense player. And I think he might end up on the second team this year. I will also add his playmaking has gotten good enough this year. He's making the right decisions. This has been talked about before, but he's not passing too late. He's getting rid of the ball early when he needs to. He draws attention and gets off the ball early, and it really helps his team out. So, all defense player, can score anytime he wants to, can get off the ball and make a play. He's definitely. I might have him top 10. I haven't thought about it. I might have him top 10.
He's impressive. So, but the way it would break down, I think, like I think they could beat the Heat, and then like they would lose to the Bucks, but I don't know, they could get a game or two on the Bucks and the ECF.
Mhm.
Be sick.
I definitely would not want to play the Celtics right now.
I wouldn't want to, but I would think like, you know, there's that pedigree. You kind of,
Mhm.
I would still take the Bucks in the series. I would, you know, feel reasonably confident in it. But I mean, so it's been a good year since like, I think a lot of people were like, oh, do you break up the Jays?
Yeah, I was just about to say
Yeah.
that. How do all those people look right now with all that egg on their face?
Did I say that? I don't even remember if I
I
said
don't
that.
think I don't think any of us were
I was
totally
asking the question. I wasn't
Okay.
pushing the button.
No, but I think when we were talking about it, I don't remember any of us being like, yes. I remember I wasn't. I was like, they're too young. You can't like this situation with the new coach. Like, you can't do that right now. And you
I
already
think-
have them signed.
Yeah. I think my statement was probably something along the lines of it depends on what you would get back,
Yeah.
which is like the case
Yes.
for everything.
We
right.
had talked about like this was before the trade deadline, and we talked about like, oh, maybe getting like De'Aaron Fox or like some of the Kings assets or something. But
Right. But I don't
think
think
it's
any
fair.
of us
I
would,
think every GM, you know, it's like,
yeah.
okay, I like this guy, I want to keep him, but I'll listen. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were jumping to trade Jaylen
No.
Brown for De'Aaron Fox. I think we were just like,
No,
if someone asks out this summer, what's something that might happen? You know, that might have been what I said. Like, don't do it unless they ask for it. You know, and it just becomes an untenable situation. So, Eastern Conference. In summary, Eastern Conference, we got our belief is that the first two exits would be the Nets and the Bulls. Kind of seem to be the consensus, except for Eric, who thinks that the Bulls.
All I
maybe
know
we're
is
not-
it'll be a good series. If everyone's healthy, it'll be a great
And
series.
also, I think those teams they're tied right now in wins.
Yeah.
You know, they could switch up who gets home court there. That could be important.
Mhm.
So we've kind of thought about the Eastern Conference.
Mhm.
My Eastern Conference Finals, by the way, is Bucks Heat, which I've been talking about like a third title fight matchup between them. Bucks Heat 3.
Mhm.
I think that's my conference final.
And the Bucks are Tyson Fury, and the Heat are Deontay Wilder.
Yes, although if I recall correctly, that fight wasn't all that, was it?
What, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder?
I thought Fury just killed him. He was too big for him.
In the latest installment, it went. I don't know about killed, but no, the second one was really bad, and the
Okay.
third one was better. But Fury still obviously got the best of them.
I'm a little behind on my MMA.
Oh,
So
that's
I
box-
want
that's
to.
boxing.
I think everybody is excited about the Eastern Conference playoffs,
Yeah.
right? I want to pitch you guys on my ideal version of the Western Conference playoffs that makes it
Biased or
as
unbiased?
partially biased, a little biased,
Okay.
that makes it as exciting as the East or close to as exciting as the East. Okay.
Okay.
Let me start with this matchup. Utah Dallas. Why I think Utah Dallas is an important matchup for both teams. It's imbalanced, like I described, like a Bulls Cavs series would be. The Mavs, they play a little smaller, and obviously Utah plays a traditional center. You would get Gobert on Luka a lot on switches. See what he can do on Luka, and I'm sure that the Mavs would employ the switching defense that often messes the Jazz up.
Yeah.
Because Gobert has proven that he's, or at least proven thus far, that he's not capable of scoring on the switch.
Mhm.
So I think that this is either one, the prime opportunity for the Jazz to actually beat this demon of the switch defense and make it past the Mavericks, or prime opportunity for Dallas to beat a team that might be ahead of them in the standings and pull off an exciting upset. Why this is important too is I think if Utah loses, they make some serious trades in the summer.
Oh yeah.
And I think that a loss to Dallas in particular would prove to them that they can't keep going with this iteration of the Jazz. So I think that the most exciting matchup for me for those two teams is against each other.
What do you?
Who do we think
Do you
would-
think they
who do
would
we think
trade
would get
Gobert?
past?
Like, what are you? what would you be hoping if you're them to get for like Gobert?
I heard on I think Zach Lowe's podcast with Bill Simmons
Mhm.
or something that Atlanta was pitched as a Gobert destination. I think that's good for both teams a little bit. Like Utah could get Capella back plus maybe a more, I don't know, maybe a John Collins or so. I don't know. I haven't thought about it too deeply, but Atlanta would immediately improve their defense, which struggles, and Utah would maybe get away from this Gobert Mitchell combination that hasn't been working, and have a switchable option at center with Collins possibly. I think that could be where they go for, because I don't really see them trying to run with Gobert instead of Mitchell. As much as some people like to argue that they should run with Gobert instead of Mitchell, I'm not sure that they would do that.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, just also from like I don't know, from a team building standpoint, but also probably from a team building standpoint, but definitely from like a team evaluation, like valuation standpoint, like Mitchell is worth more. And like the Jazz is a new owner, and like I know he's
more marketable.
Loaded. Yeah, he's marketable. He's exactly. So you got to keep with him, I would think.
Who do you guys think would win that series? Mavs, Jazz.
I'd love.
Let's just say at the moment that the Jazz have home court.
Jazz do. Is that like an elevation?
I think it is, but it's not as serious as Denver.
Okay.
Utah is in elevation, just a little bit.
Okay.
At least. And the Mavs play way better at home too. So they would be having one less home game there. I'm gonna let you guys answer. I'm
taking the Mavs. I just think Luka's just run up against like literally the worst defensive matchup for him 2 years in a row in the playoffs, and I think he can, have some success against something that's not exactly his kryptonite. So, and I like that. I was, let's see if he can really become the next great one. I think it starts here.
It's time for him to get out of the first round, I believe.
This is the first playoff series he's had that he'll be playing with Chris Stapps, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is true.
Dallas, their defense, they've been playing so well.
Mm-hmm.
Utah, I mean, you can get a guy like Jordan Clarkson to pick up the slack. I mean, I think it was yesterday. He dropped he had a very similar game to Josh Hart.
Oh, really?
He had 45 points.
Mm-hmm.
My heart is telling me that if Utah has home court, they figure it out.
Okay.
I think that I would take probably Dallas, but I'm not counting the Jazz out.
And it's settled that Dallas is winning. If I'm going with the Jazz and everyone else is going with Dallas, then it's Dallas in 5.
Dallas in 5. And I do think that either of those winners would be interesting to go up against Phoenix, but Dallas Phoenix is something that I do want to see in particular.
If with this matchup, just real quick, you'd have the number 1 3-point, Utah makes the most amount of threes, and then Dallas allows the least amount of threes in the league. So not percentage, but that's a great matchup.
I like
Interesting. Yeah, it will definitely be about who can execute their plan better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the case in a lot of series. I mean, a lot of series is just about who has the best player, right? But I'm seeing a lot of coaching battles, who can execute the best incoming. My next series for you guys, and we got a little bit of a preview of it, but not exactly due to the injury. Denver Golden State in the 3-6. This is, to me, maybe one of the worst matchups for Golden State that you can imagine. And they're going to have more talent. They're going to have more talent than Denver. And it's just going to be about, in this hypothetical, whether they can out-talent the matchup problems. And
Well,
Draymond, we all know Draymond is a great defender. Jokic gives him some problems, as he gives everybody problems. The Nuggets might have Jamal Murray back. I'm not expecting, if Jamal Murray is back, I'm not expecting, bubble Jamal Murray where he went off against Utah and the Clippers and even the Lakers. I would be just hoping that they could get a little more even distribution among the shots that they're taking in their backcourt. Monte Morris is playing very well, for example, but maybe take a little bit of a load off of him in the backcourt. Will Barton, move him a little bit down in the priority. I think that this would just be a really tough matchup for Golden State. They don't like to play big, and Jokic forces you to play big.
Yeah, well,
being deprived. We're being deprived of a great series without Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, because if they were playing, this doesn't go against anything that Marco said. I'm just saying, like,
that would be great.
Just add on to what we talked about in the East, just with the great series we're anticipating, and then Utah, Dallas. We both expect that series to be good.
They're saying that. So it seems like Porter is like a 90% chance to return, and then Jamal is like a coin flip. So
yeah,
we're gonna recoup some there probably, but
who knows what they look like? Even
what
if
is, I wonder what the wait.
Don't count them out with Bones.
What is the
Bones has replaced Campazzo in the rotation, which I think
he also literally is Bones. Like I almost weigh as much as he does.
He's so exciting. He plays like a street ball player. He's so fun. I enjoy Bones. I guess my comment here is there is a reality. It's not likely. There is a reality where Jokic is just too much for the Warriors. You know what I mean? That they just don't have an answer for him in particular because of the way that their team is built. So, depending, I would maybe put some money on Denver, depending on the line. I just think this matchup is that bad for them. That if Golden State, maybe they turn the ball over too many times or something like that, these games that they're supposed to win might go the other way. Denver was playing them on a 4-5 in their last game and almost pulled out the win. You could see that they ran out of gas at the end. Draymond didn't play. Klay Thompson didn't play well. However, in every game that they've played, except for the game that Golden State basically punted, the rescheduled game, you have seen that there are matchup problems for Golden State with Denver. So, and also, it's not even like you get a break with centers when Jokic goes to the bench, because Boogie Cousins is going to play big too, and they're not going to let him just get played off the court because he's been part of their best bench lineups. So I think that they would remain big even with Jokic off the court.
Golden State fouls a lot, and Denver they'll make you pay. They're not like they're definitely top 10 in free throw shooting. So. It'd be a good series if only.
So I think we have Golden State, but Denver is live as an underdog.
For sure.
They have Denver has the MVP as far as I'm concerned.
I believe that too.
Yeah. After that Sixers Nets game,
we didn't even talk about how terrible that game was.
Oh yeah,
I was upset because I
wasn't Sixers fans that thought they completed the process. I
was so upset not being home for that game, and then checked the score later. I was like, oh, I guess I was fine. And I just realized that these matchups I'm pitching you are the current way that is set up. But
things change.
Memphis, Minnesota. Okay, Memphis, Minnesota. That's like the two young teams going at each other. Both fan bases think the other fan bases is food. I've seen it on Twitter a lot that like both fan bases think that they could take the other one. My guy John Morant. You got the Grizz?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think I don't think Dylan Brooks has played in any of the matchups against the Timberwolves this season. He
Mhm.
is like, I talk about players who are Grizz killers. He is a Wolves killer. And I believe that Wolves fans may be counting out the villain who returned tonight to play. So I just think it would be really cool to watch the two young teams try to prove like which one is more for real. I think that would be cool.
Mhm.
This is not Minnesota's year, but they're definitely on the up.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe not
definitely.
as exciting as I thought. You guys seem to
No,
even
I
have
think
more.
no, I think I'm excited to see Ant in the playoffs for sure. I think
I
that'll
wanna
be
see-
great.
Electric.
I
But Ja
want to.
will
So
be Ja.
the Wolves have gotten out rebounded like crazy in every game the Grizz have played the Wolves, and I just want to see if Cat can respond to Steven Adams being rough with him. You
Mhm.
know, I think that will tell me something about Cat, even if they don't win that series. You know,
I don't like
Um,
D'Lo on who has D'Lo guarded in the past, like when they've matched up. Ja?
D'Lo is probably guarded Ja.
I
I
don't love
know.
that for the Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you love it.
I mean, Ja is gonna do Ja things at this point. He's
That was
gonna
Ja
get what he
things.
wants. The last one that I have for you guys before we wrap it up,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Phoenix is gonna roll whoever, but the
Okay.
best team out of this little play-in bunch really has been the Pelicans, in my opinion. They've been the most exciting team out of the play-in bunch. I don't want to see the Lakers in the playoffs. I don't want to see them get there and
It'd be painful for me. Honestly, it'd be very painful.
I've seen too much Lakers this season, and the only teams that are really likely to get into that 8 spot are, well, I guess any of them could, but I see the Pelicans as maybe the most likely. They'll have CJ McCollum. They should have Brandon Ingram back. He's had a hamstring strain. Jonas Valanciunas. I'm not. It's hard for me to pitch a 1-8 series here as exciting, but I don't know. It would be cool to see the Pelicans build something. I think start the process of building something. Maybe like a little bit of last year's Grizzlies, where they made the 1-8 against the Jazz. Maybe they take a game. Maybe they see that as something to build off of. Get Zion back next year. Sorry, I couldn't make this one more exciting.
No, I think you're right. I'm just surprised. Like, you don't think the Clippers are like better than the Pelicans?
I think the Clippers are good in the regular season. In these winner go home type games, like I really just don't see them beating Minnesota, who I think has more talent. I see
them winning. Okay. I see them losing.
Kawhi and Paul George are not coming back as far as we know right now. Unless we see them in the regular season, they're not going to be in the playoffs or the play-in.
Right.
Ty Lue said that. So at the moment, I have to believe that the Clippers will be playing without Kawhi and Paul George. And despite them being a bad matchup for Minnesota, I think Minnesota wins that game, right? So then you have Clippers versus the winners of Lakers Pelicans. And we saw a Lakers Pelicans game recently. I have no reason to believe that one would go any different.
That's fair.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm a happy camper either way. Because either way, the Lakers are going to get schmacked.
They're not making it to the second
all
round.
for it.
They're not. So
the best outcome for me is actually that the Lakers make the 8 seed somehow because it guarantees the pick goes to Memphis, which would be the 14th pick, I believe. And I am a burn in the hand type of guy. I would rather the Grizzlies get the 14th pick 100% chance than the 11th pick with like a 5% chance that it goes to the Pelicans by jumping up in the lottery.
Right.
So just give me that bird in the hand. Let me get that Lakers pick. And or it'd be the 15th pick actually. Let me get that Lakers pick. One out of the lottery. The Grizzlies have 2 other first round picks that can maybe trade up.
I'm rooting for you, man, but it's gonna be painful. It's gonna be painful.
Thank you.
We got Phoenix, Lakers.
The Pelicans will be playing to potentially get their pick, the pick from the Lakers by eliminating them from the playoffs.
Well,
will give 'em
that's cool actually.
to give them a chance to jump up in the lottery and get the Pelicans their pick. So there's some implications there for the future of two young franchises in the West.
Wow.
Here,
Phoenix Lakers tonight.
Oh, I'm
I
excited,
got the
bro.
I got the Suns. I got the Suns.
Oh,
The Suns by 30.
I got
Yeah.
the Suns in this one.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think that might be it, you guys. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Another
Thanks,
successful
everyone.
episode.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
It
forward
was
to
nice talking to you guys. I'm a little more excited for the playoffs after today. So
Absolutely. Thank you.